G'day Greyhound fans, I'm Mark Duclos. Welcome along to this week's edition of Behind the Box. I'll tell you what, we've got a bumper show coming up for you because the 2022 Ladbrokes Golden Easter Egg Series kicks off this Saturday evening at Wentworth Park with 10 heats. Joining me as always, the battler, Timmy Newbold. Hey Timmy, another week in Greyhound racing in New South Wales, another massive announcement. We now have the world's richest short course race. It's called the Thunderbolt. Heats will be staged at 8 different tracks around New South Wales, semi-finals and finals to be held at Grafton in early and mid-June.
Yeah, isn't it great to see, Duke? Now, all distances are catered for with that announcement earlier this week. Sensational news. I know it's been well received right around the industry. New South Wales, who would have thought 5 or 6 years ago, we've got the richest race over every distance in the world here in this state. Fantastic news. And I'll tell you what, final night will be a belter at Grafton on June 19. But what about semi-final night, which will be on June 11? We've also got the final of the 7:15 at the Gardens on that particular night. So won't that be one hell of a night sitting back at home, or if you're at either track, Champagne Greyhound racing in Newcastle and Grafton. Gee, we've got an exciting few months ahead, Duke. And
you know what, Timmy, I think it's just reward. There's a lot of knockers out there about 300-metre races and 350-metre races. They make up more than 30% of our race fields now, right? You still got to get up and feed them. It still costs the same amount. There are some people that say should be racing for kibble. I tell you what, we get the same product fees for a 300-metre race, what we do for a 500. And punters, they get paid the same as well. $75,000 going to the winner. But for us as an organisation, as you said, the world's richest race in every category as far as, sprint, middle distance, long distance, short course is concerned. The previous richest short course races were the Group 1 Galaxy and the Railway Sprint in New Zealand, 25,000 New Zealand to the winner. Here we are offering up 75,000. Hey, we did Dubbo last week. We'll talk about that in a second, but what about Paul Braddon with his team of sprinters? Do you reckon Paul and Pam would just be going, oh, how good's this?
Hey, Duke, there's one thing you can be rest assured. There will not be an issue with nominations at any of the tracks for any of the heats. So, yeah, it is Pam and Paul. How many, you wouldn't know how many greyhounds they'll be entering in. They might have to strategically place their greyhounds in their kennel and pick and choose where they go. So even that, Duke, adds another little element to, similar to the $1 Million Chase, where are you going to go to try and qualify for the semi-finals? So those bigger kennels who have got a number of greyhounds over the shorter trip, yeah, they'll be looking to strategically place where they'll go. So yeah, it's great to see, and I think everyone's up and about the race. You do get your narcs and knockers out there.
They're on every corner, Timmy.
Why don't you put 7 races on for 10,000 to the winner and that? But you got to have something to strive for, and a big carrot for one of those big races, and it puts the race up in the spotlight, Duke, and that's what it's all about. We've got a lot, all of our bread and butter races, very, very important, clearly, but you do need these bigger races for anyone, coming into the industry. They go, well, I want to win $1 Million Chase, or I want to win a 7:15. Even if you're going to win a Thunderbolt, 75,000, Duke, great prize money.
Mate, it's incredible. I remember racing for $40 at Lithgow over the 287. We thought we'd do them all then. Heats kick off Friday, 27th of May at Wagga. Then we go to Gunnedah, Bulli, Richmond, Goulburn, Grafton, Bathurst and Gosford. Semis, as you said, Timmy, on the 11th, the same night as the final of the 7:15. And the $75,000 to the winner of the Thunderbolt final will be staged on the 19th of June. All right, let's talk about Dubbo. One of the biggest crowds we've seen on a provincial racetrack or country racetrack or city racetrack for a number of years. Firstly, congratulations to the Dubbo Greyhound Club, to Shane Stiff, his committee, all his volunteers and that. But let's talk about the race. And zipping KYRGIOS off box 1, there are a couple of different scenarios about where he was going to end up. The King showed his true colours, but Battler.
Yeah, he did. He got into a nice position early, and then he just hooked wide down the back straight, and that big V8 engine kicked in. He wound up, forged to the top, coming to the home turn. It was game over in that point. He'd been runner-up at his 2 runs over the middle journey prior. He was a little unlucky in the semi-final, but he bounced back and he went one better in the final. Great training performance, John and Minnie Finn. He is just an out-and-out superb chaser, Duke. He does it over the 500 of Woodworth Park. He's won the Gosford Cup, the Gardens, the Blacktop at the Gardens, and now he's added the Country Classic to that resume. Just a tremendous chaser, and now he heads toward the Golden Easter egg, and it'll be a brave man to suggest he won't be able to come back from 600 to run a big race come Saturday night in the heat of the egg.
We had our showcase presentation that went out. We had viewers from Fiji Battler, as you're aware, Scotland, Dubai. We had them from so many different countries. We were able to sort of capture the excitement, but there was nothing like being on course. I spoke to Minnie and John on Monday morning. Actually, they were heading to Dapto to trial, and Minnie said to me, she said, seriously, Duke, it was just like the old days. The excitement on course, the buzz that was around. Shannon Knoll apparently brained them. And I think we're looking to book him, for wherever the next big gig is. But he really resonated with greyhound fans, particularly in that region. And you only had to see the look on what I nicknamed her now, Queen Minnie. She thanked very much for that. Queen Minnie's face. When she was walking down the home straight, her and Cam, Helen, it was a massive night, mate. 125 to the winner.
Yeah, it was, Duke. And you and I were both in the Sydney studio, heading up the coverage. And I've got to say, I did wish I was at Dubbo. The atmosphere, I was jealous of everyone there, because there's not too often, Duke, you're sitting back, and we've been going to race meetings all of our lives, and you go to the run-of-the-mill race meetings or normal meetings. Yeah, they're good, but when you get to those big nights, and even some big nights don't get to that type of atmosphere, but sitting back watching, like, you're jealous. It was you wanted to be part of it, and that's what I spoke to Stiffy on Monday, I think it was, and he said he'd fielded that many calls from people who basically were in a similar boat and said, well, I'm coming out next year, when the race is on. If it is held at Dubbo again, I want to come out and be a part of that. And that's how I felt sitting in the studio. There's not often you get an atmosphere like that on a racetrack in this day and age. And we all know why, due to the coverage. You've got the coverage from Sky, or now through streaming like we do. It's easy to sit at home and not go to the racetrack. But I'll tell you what, if you don't want to get to a track with an atmosphere like that, geez, you need to check your pulse. You're probably in the wrong game, because as I said, I would have loved to have been there.
Monday evening, Group 2 Maitland Gold Cup hasn't good odds cash come back. She's already qualified for the semi-finals of the $1 million chase, our first $1 million chase to be staged in May. She ran second behind Sipping Lopez in the fastest heat Monday week back. She got that perfect sit. She just pressured Mitchell Street from when they jumped to the home turn, and he capitulated, and she went straight past him. Very, very good training performance from Frank and Tracy Hurst.
Spot on, 24.85. We actually chatted about her on this show a number of times, but even when she won the New South Wales sprint last year and got that automatic ticket into the semi-finals of the $1 million chase, we said at the time, this is going to be a damn good training performance to keep her, up come this time this year. She's had a little break here and there, and as you mentioned, she's come back and had a cut. That was her second run back from a couple of months off, and she's come back in fine fettle. She was outstanding. The run of the second greyhound, our mechanic for Jason McKay, it was huge. He was at last early, weaved his way through, and he was gallant in finishing second. And I know he's going toward the Golden Easter egg this week, but yeah, he's a greyhound. I think he's better suited on those big one-turn tracks, but yeah, he's a greyhound who could easily, compete at the top level on the big one-turn tracks. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs at Woodworth Park come Saturday night. But yeah, all honours to Good Odds Cash. As you mentioned, a great training performance.
She draws 6 on Saturday night. We'll talk about that. She's up against New South Wales Premier Sprinter. She's a pearl. Now, listen, Timmy, I don't care whether you run it at Galarganbone, Narrabri, Bulli, or Wentworth Park. When you run a track record, it's a terrific achievement. When you smash, and I mean literally smash a track record by 5/10, as Zipping Kansas did at Bulli on Tuesday afternoon, You made that statement on Saturday night. I'm not going to hold you to it, but you said he could be the best day you've ever seen.
He could be.
He beat Stanley Road, Timmy, a dual Group 1 winner by 15 lengths.
Yeah, look, I've got no doubt he's the quickest stayer I've ever seen. Whether he ends up the best is, time will only tell. But what he's done in those 3 runs, even prior to that, when he ran the near track record at Richmond, so what, his last 4 runs, Wentworth Park 41.5 first up, then Sandown, outstanding. And he absolutely obliterated that track record on Tuesday. I know it was in daylight conditions, so the track was conducive to quick times, yeah. But he left poor old Stanley Road in his wake, as you said, 15 lengths behind. The world is at his feet. He is just something out of the box. He really is. Whether that brilliance early, Duke, gets
old a bit,
as he sort of has more runs over the journey. But I'm sure Jason Magri, he's a top trainer. He'll know how to prepare and space his races if he thinks that'll ever come. But the thing is with him, we've always, the great stayers over the years, many of them are back markers. Well, this guy, he's just a front running stayer, just runs them into the ground. So he wins his races if he begins cleanly, he's basically unleadable. And that middle section where he just absolutely puts them away, how can they run him down if he continues in the form he is in? He is just, he is something special. And it's great to see. I think we need a real headline act at the moment, Duke. And he could well be the greyhound coming through, because we've had a lot of retirements in the last sort of 12 months. The Tommy Shelbys, even Aston Rupee retired earlier today. So we're looking for a real big name, and Zipping Kansas, he could be the one.
Of course, he goes into the Association Cup heats on Saturday week. I wonder how many interstate dogs or interstate trainers he's scared off by those last 3 or 4 performances. I wonder if they're game enough to go, you know what, how do we beat him? Or do they say, hey, we're in it, you can't win races sitting at home?
Hey, second and third prize money is pretty good as well. If look, you've always, I don't think any trainer would really go into a race saying, you know what you've got to beat, but you can't have that attitude. You got to have a crack, in my opinion. And even if you can't beat him, as I said, second and third's pretty good prize money. Who wouldn't want to be a Golden Easter egg night anyway? Come for a trip.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's a 2-week series, yeah. So they don't have to make that 3-week trip like they do for the sprinters. We're probably only going to get 3 heats, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So they've only got to run, 1, 2 fastest thirds. They're in there for a crack at, decent money, even if he does go to that next level, Timmy. So it's really, it's interesting. I'll tell you what, he's on a roll, Jay Magri. Last night at Wentworth Park, we had 5 heats of the Group 3 Magic Maiden Series. It's the unofficial start to the Easter Egg Series. He had the fastest qualifier, Zipping Novak, in 30:04. Yeah,
straight to the top. Didn't look ever like getting beat. 5:55, 18 dead, 12:04, 30:04 overall. Had box 1. Just looked like a professional dog, didn't he? He's only a young dog, and looked like he'd been around Wentworth Park a dozen times. He's going to be a big player in the series. He was clearly the most impressive, Duke. He had box 1, but these series, a lot of the time they are box draw dependent with the young dogs and just learning their way coming through. But yeah, he's another who is highly talented, and another one for Marty and Fiona Hallinan. So they're having one heck of a run as well at the moment, Duke.
And deservedly so. Hey, we got semi-finals of the Magic Maiden next Wednesday night, and then those semi-qualifiers, they go into the final on Golden Easter Egg night on April the 9th. Let's talk about Ladbrokes Golden Easter Egg heats. We have 10 of them this Saturday evening. Scratching of Aston Rupee from race 2 robs the race of a little bit of interest, but notwithstanding that, it's some cracking fields. The first heat, Timmy, Group 1 winner, Do It, draws box 5. I'm keen on Chase Me Honey. I thought her recent form's been outstanding. She does have to miss Mitchell Street in the early stages. Yuko Girl parked up in box 1. I'll tell you, the smoky for me is Where's Rocky. He looks as if he's going to get a really nice draws. Where's Rocky for me from probably Chase Me Honey, Do It. Really tough race to kick off proceedings.
I'm with the Class Edge here in Do It. Adelaide Cup winner. He was terrific through in the heat of the Paws of Thunder earlier on in the year with Park. He's got the box manners, the early pace to overcome the 5 alley. Coming into the race, Duke on the fresher side. So I think he'll be ready to rock and roll. I do concur with Where's Rocky. He's got a tremendous chance from that soft alley. He's drawn to Park just behind the pace, and he's powerful at the end. Very, very strong greyhound. He's a top chance, but I'm in the corner of Do It in the opener.
All right, race 2, early start on Saturday night too, by the way, 6:05 for the first. Race 2 goes at 6:22. Aston Rupee, as I said, he's been scratched. He's been retired. We're with the wings here, both of us, Timmy, but we have, conflicting numbers. I've gone with Analysing from box number 1. I think you're with Irinka Riley.
Yeah, I sure am, Duke. Look, I concede Irinka Riley's better drawn nearer to the rails in 1, 2, 3, but he can handle a wide alley. He did run 29.78, winning a heat of the Paws of Thunder in January from box 8. He's got a speedy a speedy railer, I should say, in Dulceria, drawn directly underneath him here. If she fires out, charges over, I can see Irinka Riley getting a beautiful card across with her. Park on just behind the pace in Analysing, and Dulceria working into the back straight, and I think he could be too strong at the end. Irinka Riley for me.
All right, Analysing for me off the inside, tons of early pace. 4-time winner at Wenny with 6 minors, go back 2 starts, 30-0 on a dead track. Previous start ran 29.8, but yeah, I'm with you, Timmy. I think the wings hold the key to race number 2, the second heat. The third heat at Wenty, I spoke with Andy Lord and Jody Lord this morning. Andy just loves Bandit Net. I mean, you look at his record from outside boxes, it is absolutely exemplary. We know he's a Group 1 age-restricted winner at Wentworth Park. Drops back from that 600-metre semi-final of the Country Classic, but he loves Wenny. And Andy said today he roared up his home, up the straight at home there earlier this week.
Yeah, you're right. He's Wenny Park's his favourite track, his best track. Good record from wide alleys, flying PB at the track. Shouldn't be worried about the 2 greyhounds drawn on either side as well in Murray's Way and Sound of Silence, who's directly underneath him. He should get that fresh air to build up the revs in the early stages, let go mid-race and down the back straight. And he should be in front of Equaliser if he does begin cleanly. And therefore, I think he'll win the race. Equaliser, the danger, the market does suggest that, Duke. It's only 2 winning chances according to the market. If there is a knockout for mine, it would be Daff's Ascend Greyhound A, who could charge across and maybe get the fly. But yeah, I'm in the corner of Bandit Net here.
4 semi-final, fantastic. Raven will start from box 5. She was terrific at Dubbo when she led them up in the Country Classic final. We're both in agreement here, Timmy. Connections resumed after a 2-month spell at the Gardens last week, ran 29.47, an imposing record today. 12 starts for 10 wins, and at Wenny, 4 starts for a couple of victories. 29.68 best. He's won 2 of 3 starts from the outside 2 boxes.
Yeah, he's a dead set box 8 Bandit, Duke. Flying machine in the early stages. Quick winner at the Gardens on resumption last start. Ran a blinding 4.92 early section. They don't go much quicker than that at the Gardens. I think he'll just charge across, go to the top, run his rivals into the ground. Fantastic Raven, a big danger. And Zara's Ivan, but I think Connections will win the race mid-race when he does set up a big lead. He'll get leg weary in the latter stages, but I think he's drawn to lead and set up a big lead.
First leg of the Quad Ears Race 5, the 5th heat of the Ladbrokes Golden Easter Egg Series. Coast Model draws 1, Group 1 winner Wow draws 2, Ties the Bind draws box number 8. Idolize, the Group 1 National Futurity winner, draws box number 7. Wow, he's had 3 weeks off since his last run here at Wenny, where he scored in a free-for-all in 29.79. And we've spoken about him so many times, but he loves to get off the track, but his record from inside boxes is terrific.
Yeah, and it just depends on the type of race, the race, structure and how greyhounds how the greyhounds around him are drawn. And in this particular race, Duke, Greyhound 3 Indy for Do or Fido, the Victorian, you go back and have a look at his runs in Victoria. He comes out like a dromedary. He walks out of the boxes. So
And the red flies out. Yeah.
That's right. So Coast Model will ping lead. White walks out. Wow just begins on terms, and then that motor will kick in. He'll get rolling, and I can see him just holding second or third through the first turn behind the red, and then he just lets go mid-race. Yeah, I've got to be with him. Wow. After redemption, after finishing runner-up to Tommy Shelby in last year's Golden Easter Egg, Idolise, Logical Danger. She was fantastic in both victories at Wendy earlier on in the year, and she's a little lid pinger, and I'm sure she'll be cherry ripe for the series.
All right, race number 6, the 6th heat of the Golden Easter Egg. Lewis Rumble battler. He's had a couple of runs back. He had around about 4 weeks off. Went to Grafton in a 350, got beat by a very smart local dog there in Apache Don. Last Sunday night ran 25.19. That was a hot win because it was a very good, as say, local field, greyhounds that race there every week. Only had the 3 starts at Wenny for a win, a best of 29.61. It's won 25 of 50 overall, class animal.
Yeah, best bet on the program from me, but he is at a rock bottom price in early betting around the $1.90. I'd like even money or a little bit better. Look, when he begins cleanly, there's not too many greyhounds who've got the burn he's got in this country. I like him when he's drawn wide out where he can just get momentum and charge over. He's got a couple of greyhounds around him who shouldn't really worry him if he begins cleanly. You've mentioned his PB, clearly the one to beat. Best bet on the program, Lewis Rumble.
Any danger at all? Probably Indy Matilda, got a terrific record off box 1, 10 starts, 7 wins, a couple of minors. Its last victory was back in early January. It went 29-27. And again, Team Daly bring a huge contingent to Wentworth Park.
Yeah, they always come up, the Hume, and I know over the years I've always gambled against a lot of their greyhounds first up because they don't generally come up and trial Duke, and I've ended up with egg on my face a number of times. They generally always come up and perform very well at Wentworth Park first up, although Indy Matilda has been at Weddy before, has had a couple of runs here, but there are a number of dailies up here this week first up. But yeah, drawing the inside is the main danger.
All right, race number 7, cracking heat of the Golden Easter Egg, and New South Wales Premier Sprinter, She's a Pearl, draws box number 8. 13 starts at the track, 10 wins, 4 for 4 from the outside. Good Odds Cash, as we mentioned earlier, a very smart winner of the Maitland Cup on Monday night. But I spoke to Jody this morning, and she just said that She's a Pearl is absolutely at the top of the game. I was at Wenny 2 weeks back on the Wednesday night. She ran 5:39 early. That track was at least 3 or 4 tenths off Battler. She went 29.82. She's got a best here of 46. Can you see her firstly getting led by any other dog in the field, and can you see her getting beat?
Brave me to tip against her. I'm not that brave.
No, neither am I. I don't want to get on Jody's bad side.
No, she should just win. She'll go out round at a good things price around the $1.30, $1.35. She lid pings. She's got that incredible burn. She looks to be getting just stronger and stronger. She's improving those overall times. Box 8 should just lead and win one for the multis.
The way I look at it, Timmy, I don't do a lot of interstate form now, but as far as New South Wales dogs are concerned, she's without a doubt the best 520 metre beginner in New South Wales, hands down. I don't know another dog that is as faultless as what she is. She just, again, and I've spoken to Andy about this, they're the sort of dogs that give themselves every opportunity to win their way through to a semi, win their way through to a final. They're coming out running and going 5:30s, 5:38s, 5:40s. Boy, they're getting that clear air, mate.
Yeah, they're unleadable when you're running those low 5:30s. And then you're running the quick time mid-race and you're getting home in handy time as well. Mathematically impossible to really run you down. So she's the series favourite, and deservedly so. She looks to have a mortgage on this heat on Saturday night. She'll get through to semi-final stage, and she'll be awfully hard to beat. Those racing traits, as we've harped on it many a times, as far as a greyhound's concerned, I want a good beginner, high speed, and can run quick time over 520. Tick, tick, tick. She's a pearl. I don't want a back marker and one out. You run 29, 3-1 out at Wentworth Park, and you got no speed and you're strong. I just want a lead pinger speed. Run your 29.5s each time you go around, and you're going to win a lot of races and probably a big one along the way.
How do you go at Christmas time with Santa Claus? Is that same sort of thing you asked for? Just something to get off the shelf? And
yeah. No, he doesn't come to me anymore.
Oh,
I'm generally Santa. I'm going to play Santa now. Anyway, it's a hell of a lot more costly these days. You've gone through all that.
Oh, mate, please, still in. Race 8, last leg of the quaddie, 8th heat of the Golden Easter egg. The King returns to Wenty. We spoke about him earlier, winning the Country Classic at Dubbo. His record here is outstanding: 23 starts, 12 wins, 7 minors, 29.37 PB here. Came from box 2. I know you don't place as much relevant on boxes as I possibly do, and you're right, because it depends on the race they're in, but I still like to see him have good records from boxes. Box 2, 7 starts, 5 wins, a couple of minors. Can he get beat? Well, he can, because he's been beaten at $1.10 there before, when I had him as the last leg of a multi. He was off the red that night, remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. Just another one to add to the book.
Yeah.
Another chapter.
Yeah.
Look, I can't tip against him. Coming back from the middle journey, that won't be a worry. He would have had an easy week, no doubt. Was Wenty Park. A bit of pace on his outside, but not much on his inside. So he should just punch up, settle second or third in the run, and then he lets go. He should just win. Look, I don't know whether I want to take $1.70 about him, but he should get the money, Duke.
I think he'll probably start a lot shorter than that. They came for him late, as you know, on Saturday night at Dubbo. He's got a big fan base, which is great. Race 9, 9th heat. The scratching already of your namesake, Rockstar Newbold. What happened? You pulled up late, did you?
I'll tell you what, they're shooting for the stars. Kayla and Sean. When I saw him, I thought, gee, man, just try and win a 5th grade, hey, Kayla?
He comes up with a red. Yeah, exactly. I like Lala Kiwi, Group 1 Australian Cup winner. She ran 29.6 in a heat of the Perth Cup, only 2 starts back, got beat in the final of that. She's got a slow beginner on her outside in Zipping, Alabama. Boston Garden, well, good luck trying to work out his box manners. I know if he does begin, Wenty's probably the one track he does begin at. So I'm keen on Lala Kiwi, just even though she's got box 4. She's actually my best bet of the night. But you like another Andrea Daly trainer here in Americano Miss?
Yeah, I thought she arrived in Sydney for the first time with pretty good form. She's been racing really well on the provincial tracks at Horsham and Shepparton down there. Has won at the Meadows in quick time, is showing good speed. I think she'll be suited to Wentworth Park. I think she'll love the track. Boston Garden on her outside. Well, who knows how he begins? Who knows?
Good luck.
It's guesswork. But if he walks out like he generally does, now got a vacant box underneath her. Gee, she's a great chance of leading here at a good price. I think she's worth a gamble. Americano Miss, even on an each-way basis. I think she can go straight at the top. Lala Kiwi, clearly the one to beat, the class runner. A bit of travelling last couple of, coming back from Perth. That might, I don't know whether I'd want to take, tomato sauce odds about her with just coming back from Perth, or coming to Sydney for the first time from Perth, but or second time, I should say. But yeah, I thought she might have been a little bit of a risk from of all of the skinny favourites on Saturday night, Duke. So a bit of value, Americano Miss.
All right, 10th and final heat. I'm with Jason Thompson here with Decimate from the outside. Good record from wide boxes. Good recent stats. A winner at Warrnambool a couple of starts back. Last start winner at Warragul. It's been racing in free-for-alls at Sandown Park, ran second there, 3 starts back on 29.3 when the winner went 29.02. Timmy, who are you with in last heat?
Yeah, the Daily camp again here in GYPSY Yankee.
Haven't you jumped on board?
I know, hey?
That's what empty pockets teaches you. Yeah.
Hey? They'll be cursing me, don't worry about that. He's another greyhound who comes up here and I think could be just suited to Wentworth Park with his racing traits. Goes around the $8 mark. Been going around at Horsham and Shepparton in the Cup Series at both of those tracks. has got a moderate beginner drawn on his outside, and Decimate in the 8. Gee, he's very touchy. I know he does want box 8 because when he does hit the ground, that's when he really gets mobile. But I thought at the value, GYPSY Yankee was a great little chance in the final heat, Duke.
Fernando Hunter a chance as well, but we talk about risky beginners. Look in the dictionary, there's a picture of that big blue dog. No doubting his ability.
No,
absolute machine when he gets clear air, as was evident, 4 starts back, running 29.56. And Brenton Abdullah, of course, who owns it, he's riding the crest of a winning wave, taking out the Golden Slipper last week.
Yeah, sure is. Look, he's got an undeniable chance, but he just hasn't got that early dash in the first 50 or 60, and he's so touchy at box rides. But if he gets fresh air going into the back straight, the leaders better look out because God Almighty, he's got a massive engine, and we know he can put the time on the board when the runs come his way mid-race.
First, second and third of each of the heats go through to the semis, along with the 2 fastest force. And you talk about Team Daly, Timmy and Tommy and Andrea and George, they've been doing this for years, right? They bring a team up. Then look, I know they want to win every time they go around, but they also look at the heats. When it's a 3-week series like this, they can bring dogs up that have not had a look at the track and hope to run 1, 2, 3 and get through. And it's as you said before, it's a proven recipe with them. They've been doing it for years. It
took me a long time to actually get around it and work out not to gamble against them that first week generally. But it's been proven in the past, and no doubt they're going to play a big part again in this series.
Yep. Okay. So that is Saturday evening at Wentworth Park. We kick off the Ladbrokes 2022 Golden Easter Egg Series. Hey, the good news, the big announcements, they all keep coming. It's going to be a cracking week. And as said, next Wednesday night, semi-finals of the Magic Maiden as well. And then Saturday week, we've got the Group 1 Association Cup heats. Have a good week, mate. I'll be trackside at Wendy on Saturday night doing socials, so you can catch up on all the action there. But boy, what a couple of months we got coming up, that one. Easter egg, $1 million chase, 7:15, Thunderbolt. Are there any other race? What about the richest straight track race in the world? How much did it cost us?
Yeah. I did see a little bit of talk about that on the socials. Well, that could be the next. Tony Mestrov, are you there? Who knows?
I'm in the studios here at GRNSW. I'll just duck upstairs and tap on yourself. Hey, mate, good to be back. Good to see you. And hopefully we got plenty of winners throughout the week.
Thanks, Duke. Been a lot of fun.
All right. And to you as well, good luck. I hope you've enjoyed Behind the Boxes. We'll be back same time next week. But don't forget, huge night of racing at Wentworth Park this Saturday night. 10 heats of the Ladbrokes Golden Easter Egg Series.